Yeah, let me look it up. Is shadow verse. Hmm. Okay. So this is Hebrews 10 um 1 to
No, this is not the Old Testament.
I guess let me check that. Oh yeah, I guess that one's not in the Old Testament. Good point.
See, this is a problem. I know that there is interpretation that makes the atonement just a symbol of what is to come. I know this exists in Christianity, but it's not the only interpretation there. The Jews have different opinions.
Mhm. Well, definitely in Isaiah 53, it talks about like how the coming Savior is a propitiation for our sins, like a payment.
Can you give
But
me that passage?
sure, yeah.
I think we have read it before, if I remember. Is it Isaiah 53? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, Isaiah
I
53.
think we read it, yeah, and we found few problems there. If you want me to read it
Oh,
again, find the same problems, fine.
I mean, sure. Like I'll just I'll find the part that I'm talking about and let me see. Uh, okay, so yeah, Isaiah 53, Isaiah 53 5. So it says, "But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him." And then it says, "And by his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all." Right? So this is in the Old Testament, written way before the physical birth of Jesus, and yeah, this along with the whole passage and also Psalm 22. Um, it predicts the coming of
Can
Jesus
you
before he
can you
ever came.
continue reading, please?
Sure, sure. Yeah, I can continue reading. It says, "He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was
Mhm.
led as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before his shearers is silent. So he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. Who will declare his generation? For he was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgressions of my people he was stricken, and they made his grave with the wicked." So that's talking about how he died with,
Yeah, or
um,
grave with the wicked. I think I told you to bring me a linguistic proof that this means he died. So he died, by crucifixion with the two bandits or two wicked people. Making your grave with someone means that you will be buried with them. That's what I understand.
well,
so you guys are having like Bible study in a counter apologetics room. May I join as an atheist?
I mean, sure.
We cannot force you not.
Huh? Sorry?
We cannot force you not to join.
That's who the room is made for, isn't it?
Yeah, actually.
I don't know why there's
That's
more
okay.
theists than atheists in here.
Hmm.
They want to have a piece of us, so we're here to give them our piece.
But yeah, go ahead, man.
Continue. Continue. Sorry for disturbance.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean,
You have the floor.
if you have any, yeah, feel free. If you have comments, thoughts, things like that. But
Yeah, just a request, Apple, if you could raise your mic, please. Your volume is very low. Thank you.
oh, sure. Yeah, like I'm using my phone, and it's the objection was about grave, right? It said that he made his grave with the wicked. So yeah, I guess definitely look into that. Like the original Greek and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I currently don't have that. Like I don't know that right now. But with regards to what you call it, so it says that, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all, right? So this shows that your sin and my sin was laid upon whoever this passage is talking about, which is which I believe is Jesus, right? Which is Messiah. Um, and then we can also go to like other places, I guess in the Old Testament, where it talks about animal sacrifices, and yeah, it just in my view, like I definitely need to find some more verses to support this. But my view, like these animal sacrifices, were not the payment for our sins, but they were symbols pointing forward to the one who would one day uh, redeem us from our sins.
Yeah, I think I requested you to bring me a verse from the Old Testament that says this.
Sure.
Yeah, you brought me a verse from Hebrew. It was,
Sure.
I forgot the passage, but anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't even know how to interject to that. So, how old are you, Apollotrosis?
29.
29. Okay, so you're not young anymore. How long have you been Christian?
Uh, well, I believe in God, since I was young. But I became a Christian around 16. For yeah, basically, because I did bad things, and then I realized I couldn't pay for the bad things that I've done by good deeds, right? I can't spin back the hands of time and undo uh, what I've done, and so I realized that that's why God sent Jesus to die on the cross and rise from the grave, is to pay for your sins and my sins completely and totally, right? And so,
Mm. Can I interject?
sure.
When you said like God sent Jesus to die on the cross for our sins, could you elaborate on that?
Sure. Um, Essentially, uh, it's it's that it's not like just anyone can pay for anyone's sins, right? Like I can't pay for your sins, and you can't pay for my sins, and other people can't pay for other people's sins, because uh, we all have our own uh, bad things that we've done to pay for, right? So it
Mm.
has to be someone who's innocent and a willing sacrifice, right? Like God's not um just randomly choosing someone and being like, okay, like you have to pay for these people. It's that Jesus, for, he loves he loves us, he loves sinners, and he doesn't want us to perish, So he laid down his life so that we could be saved, you know.
Sure, but what does God actually has to do with this? Like God sending himself and sacrificing himself to actually pay for uh, not social, but constructs that he made people to, avoid. Like, what does that has to do with you being, I don't know, like immoral in your life and thinking that you should be punished for your AKA sins?
Um,
If you ask me,
so
sin doesn't exist. That's why I put AKA there.
okay, yeah, I get that. Um, well, so yeah, like I said, so prior to being a Christian, I still believed in God, and um, my main question was just like, what is the truth? And I asked lots of questions. Um, and so, among them was about atheism. And I'm like, whatever is the truth is what I want to believe in, right? So if atheism, naturalism is true, well, I'll just believe in that. If Christianity is true, I'll believe in that. If some other thing is true, like, Buddhism or Hinduism or Islam, whatever it is, I'll just believe in it. Because I can change my belief, but I cannot change that which is actual, right? And, it wasn't like I was going to care about what it was. I'd just be like, whatever is the truth is the truth. And, I can't change it, right? I'll just live by it. But yeah,
How
so with
about you
regards,
actually, if I can interject, of course.
sure,
How about you do the most of you what you can to actually pay for the bad deeds that you have done in this life instead of asking, you know, God to do that. Like, what does God has to do with bad deeds that you have done in this life? I don't understand how you bring God up in here. Like, you kind of smuggled in God, so that's why I'm interested. So let's say if I am going to steal, let's say, $100 from my friend, and if I want to, you know, amend my bad deeds, I'll do as much as I can to return that $100 with a proper apology, or more, pay him more, like let's say with interest on top, right? Because I've taken this $100. Why do I need to bring God into the equation here?
um, well, because God is actual and He is real, and
You see?
yeah, He's actual and it's real. So I guess another thing is like, so let's just think like, let's say naturalism, um, which is kind of what follows from atheism. So it is to say
Hmm.
that everything is just matter and energy. It's all just uh, molecules in motion. Um, so in that case, it's like, what is the obligation to do anything, right? Uh, if if you're just a bunch of matter, I'm just a bunch of matter, or a bunch of molecules, right? And I were to go and kick a puppy out of malicious intent, um, so I kick the puppy out of malicious intent. I would just be a bunch of molecules getting closer or farther from another bunch of molecules. And so, why would
Why
God
do I
do
do
that?
what I do? Okay. So how
Well,
about this? I'll record this, these questions, and how about we address the first thing that you said at the start of the sentence? Would this be okay with you?
sure, sure.
So you said God is actual and God is real. how did you come to an understanding of that God is real?
Um, well, I guess initially it was just knowing that there is good and evil. Um, like in when I was uh young, I was just like, that's something that I cannot deny. I cannot deny that there's evil. I cannot deny that there's good. And that was kind of like my starting point. And atheism, it doesn't have any room for good or evil. Everything just is, right?
That
Everything
is
is
not true, actually. I'll explain it later. But
is
Well, I already
how
explained it
about
to him.
this? Yeah, it's
I've
okay. I'll
already
explain.
explained the moral issue to him before.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll explain to him as much as I can then, I guess. But firstly, you decided that God is actual and God is real, right? And I'm an atheist in search of the truth, right? And I really want to get to the truth. So, what was the methodology, and how did you actually determine that God is true and God really, really exists?
mm-hmm.
When I say methodology, it's not like you have to give me an official name or something. You just have to, describe it. How did you do it?
Sure. So right now, pretty much what I'm talking about is just uh, the reasoning I took in the past. Um, so pretty much I was just like, well, what if atheism is true, right?
We're not talking about atheism. Like atheism is a different subject. What I'm saying here is like you reasoned, right? Before you reason, you need some kind of basic information from which you reason to a conclusion, right? So reasoning is the process. Reasoning something like you go forward to a conclusion, right? What kind of information did you have before that, before you started reasoning?
Uh, so like, so I'm just talking about how I formulated things back then. So back then, for me, it was uh, like the moral argument. Currently, I've learned about what is more like an ontological uh, statement. So pretty much what I would say is that there is a truth. Truth is that which comports with reality at a given moment. Um, and truth is external to your mind and external to my mind, right? And
Sure.
it reveals certain things to you, and it reveals certain things to me. But
Yeah, you don't know that if you know truth or not, right? The
right,
truth that really comforts to reality. But yeah, that's actually another topic, to be honest. But go ahead. What were you saying?
sure. So what truth reveals to you is that uh you have a sense of reality, right? Um, and that uh basically you would know that you are in something. You're in a reality that is actual, right? You're not in an illusion. You're not in a dream. Um, you're not in the matrix. And the reason why I describe it as a sense of reality is because I don't think it's like the other senses. So I don't think it's like seeing. So like you could take away someone's sight and they could still know that, hey, I'm in the real world. You could take away
Yeah,
someone's
that's
hearing.
not really what I asked. I'm sorry, I have to stop you. That's not really what I asked to you. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that truth exists or it doesn't exist. I'm not saying that you cannot reason or your reasoning is faulty. I'm not saying that we are brains in a vats. I haven't actually said anything like that. I said like, what was the information before you started reasoning that there is Jesus Christ or God? Like, what was that? So let's say I believe, let's say the unicorns exist, right? just I'm bringing up a hypothetical, right? So that just because I believe, well, the conclusion that unicorns exist uh, is a final product of my reasoning. My reasoning actually is a process which depends on the information what I had about unicorns. So either I saw unicorn, or I've read about unicorn, or I saw a unicorn's trail in the snow or whatever, right? This is the information I'm like asking you. What kind of information did you have before you started reasoning that there is Jesus Christ?
Okay, so you said like unicorns and such. Well, I don't think like a unicorn is, like analogous.
I don't give a shit. We can take a cup if you want, or like bag of chips, or whatever you want to say. I really don't care about that. It's like I'm really trying to get to the information part.
Sure. So I guess go ahead.
No. I just coughed. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought someone was like talking.
No.
But yeah. So basically, I guess you're kind of asking about like what was my background. So yeah, like my mom, she was she was a Christian. She was a Christian. She was a Protestant. My dad, he was mixed. He was what is it? He was like Buddhist, Hindu, um, Orthodox, and all over the place with regards to religion. I grew up
I
in a
like him.
very like go ahead.
Can you actually tell me what was the information, please? Apologize. I've been trying to,
Yeah, just give us the inference, right? Give us like some pieces of evidence, construct like a formally valid argument with the
even
conclusion.
let's not even get down to evidence yet, like when we are going to say that it's evidence or it's not an evidence. So I'm really interested about the information, right? So please, like, give me concretely what information led you to believing that Jesus Christ actually exists.
So I guess so you're asking for like a historical case for the existence of Jesus, like that
I
he
don't
was
know,
real.
whatever convinced you, that's what I'm asking.
Okay. So yeah, pretty much what mainly convinced me was um, the moral argument, right? I knew that there were things that were evil, right? Like I know like murder is evil. I know torturing and stuff, and like yeah, there are actually evil things, you know. Uh, I I won't deny that.
Sure.
And
Do you know definition of evil?
the rejection of God.
No. That's okay, that's your definition. Okay, sure. Oh, although don't agree with your definition. Evil is immoral, profoundly immoral or wicked. That's immoral. That's how I define evil.
And morality is an ought claim, right? You ought not beat your wife. You ought to be kind to orphans.
Okay, so are you going to the Bible? So what are you doing right now? I'm really interested. So what is this piece of information that's actually led you to believing in God? The moral argument or the Bible?
Well, I would say it's both.
Both.
Because
Okay. Can you tell me moral arguments in its fullest form, and then we can go to the Bible if you want to.
well, like I haven't developed like a premise conclusion sort of thing for that
It's okay.
yet.
Give me rough. Rough. Give me rough. I don't care about premise conclusion. Don't worry.
Sure. So, uh, where I started is that um we started with either subjective or objective morality, right? So subjective is that morality is dependent on your mind, whereas objective is to say that morality is external to your mind. If morality is dependent on your mind, then it is equivalent to an opinion or a belief. Whatever you think is right, whatever you think is wrong, right? Essentially, you would be putting yourself in the place of God, and you would be the one who makes the ought statements. Like, you ought to do this or you ought not to do that. There would be no higher authority than yourself, right? And so that would just lead to might makes right within society, uh, and the self-destruction of morality, or any sort of usefulness of the term morality. And then I guess just, yeah, like another thing is just that when one holds to naturalism, which I think which I think logically comes from atheism, or like tends to come from atheism. That is to say that everything is just molecules in motion, and everything works.
We're not talking about atheism, really. I'm doing an internal critique of your worldview, right? I'm really not interested into atheism right now. We can continue that conversation later. So,
Well, I was just talking about like
continue about moral argument, please.
like how I got there, and yeah, just from the seeing, like, okay, everything's just from naturalism, everything's different states of matter. If everything is just molecules in motion, um, matter in flux, then there would be no right or wrong, good or evil. It's uh, just different arrangements of molecules, right? And so, like, I was just saying, okay, well, atheism leads to hedonism or nihilism, right? Hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure. Nihilism is to say that nothing matters, right? So I was like, okay, um, you know, that's that, like, I don't think that is actual, because I do know that there's right and I do know that there's wrong. You know, I it's like it's a certain knowledge, right? It's something that is imprinted in me. Uh, so um, so with regards to like right and wrong, there cannot be right and wrong unless there is something above you or above me in authority. And so that thing that was that I saw, like, it was above me, you or above me, I'd say, like, hey, that's God, right? So
That's it. That's what convinced you of God's existence. Okay, how about this? I'll approach this really carefully and slowly. So when we're saying something in the terms of morality, and we're describing morality and atheism together, you understand that you can have both together, right? So morality is not something that comes from the God. If you are claiming that it comes from the God, then it's just your positive claim, which you have to justify its existence. But if we're not going there, right? We can see that every human being inherently has some kind of morality whenever they are born and raised. But you're saying something in the terms of God is the ultimate moral creature. I'm telling you that without God and without everything, even in naturalism, I can explain morality without a problem, without leading it to nihilism or heathenism.
okay.
So there's
So
some terms called like subjective morality and objective morality. Inherently, what we see is that mostly all human beings are born with this inherent feeling of morality. So at first, before we continue, can you define morality? What you mean by the word morality?
sure. So I would say morality is an ought claim, right? Like, you ought to be kind to your wife. You ought not kick puppies. Ought.
Oh, okay. How about this? The personal feeling of good or bad.
Wait. What do you say?
Personal feeling of good and bad,
A
or
personal
correct or
belief.
incorrect decision?
Okay, a personal belief of good and bad. Yeah, well, so that's subjective morality.
Yeah, I know, but morality, if you're going to say that morality is morality, then we can actually digress to subjective and objective morality.
So I would say
At
morality
first,
is
let's go ahead.
yeah, I would say morality is an ought claim. That's I'll leave it at morality is an ought claim, and then I would say subjective morality is what you said,
I don't know
which
what
is
odd claim is.
uh like you ought to be kind to your wife. It's you should or
If you're
it
not
is
going, okay, if you're going to be kind to your wife, then it's good, and if you won't be kind to your wife, it's bad, right?
like if you want to be kind to your wife, it's good.
I don't understand why you were resisting my definition of morality. So I don't know what ought claim means, to be honest. So I told you, like you're saying you ought to be good to your wife. You said something like you ought to be good to your dog, and I'm telling you, okay, it's good to be kind to your wife, and it's bad to be not kind to your wife. Wouldn't that fit as well?
Yeah, it's good to be kind to your wife, and it's bad to be not kind to your wife. Yeah.
So where does subjectivity come here? Like you were saying that this definition is special to subjective morality.
So you said
Can we
that
use this definition as a general morality definition so we can actually move on and explain things?
but your definition was a personal like view on right and wrong or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, like a personal. So personal means mind dependent, right? This means it's
Yes.
dependent on. Okay, but I hold to morality being objective, which is
Yeah, we
mind.
can talk about that later, like what objective morality is or how it actually
All right.
resembles in the
Okay. Sure.
society.
We can work with subjective morality.
Okay,
And
so now we understand that it's like personal feeling of bad or good, right? But inherently, humans and probably all of the living organisms have this inherent sense of objective morality, which is like everyone objectively thinks that some kind of actions are bad and some kind of actions are good. So let's say killing people when it comes to human morality, right? Um, Inherently most of the humans actually share this sense. So killing humans is bad. This is not because of the religion or God gave us. It's just some inherent feeling that we have. So I'm telling you that in naturalistic worldview, right, I can explain this by that. And actually most of the atheists are using this kind of approach, most. So, if you're going to say that the objective morality actually gives us God claims, that's inherent, like that's just blatantly wrong. If you're going to say that God actually does that, then you have to actually claim that God exists, to be honest. Doc, can you mute your mic? We
Oh,
can.
sorry.
That's okay. Then what it means is that you're saying that just because we are this way and every living organism is made this way, then God is the ultimate I don't know how to say this. Uh, it was, let's say, God who created us this way. So, how about this? I asked you at first that you should actually like tell me what are the reasons that made you believe that God exists, and you told me that it's a morality when you actually didn't know that naturalistic worldview can explain for morality as well. So I'm right now I'm thinking that something else convinced you of, God's existence, to be honest. So
Okay,
I
so
just showed you like different approach to morality that exists.
so how does the naturalistic worldview uh prove that something is right or wrong beyond it being like how does it prove that something is objectively wrong, like mind independent, like not dependent on your mind or my mind? So for example, um,
I'll tell you.
like
No
all
problem.
right,
Like killing, right? So when we came to killing, when we're saying
all right,
that it's dependent on my mind, right? Then objective morality actually can, well, morality can change, but it's more likely that it's subjective morality can change than objective morality. As I told you, most of the humans actually share this inherent feeling of, let's say, killing is bad, or stealing is bad, or fucking somebody else's wife is bad.
mm-hmm, okay, so
That is the same as, let's say, if you're going to get a cat, right? A kitten, which hasn't opened its eyes yet. And this kitten grows in time, and you'll see that actually this kitten will start actually licking its paw and like bathing himself. Let's call it like that, right? Although this kitten hasn't seen that his mother was doing, that bathing procedure, so he hasn't learned this kind of procedure from anyone. But you will still see that he starts doing this. So this is kind of biological information that carries from mother to through a child, from mother and father, I'm sorry, through a child.
sure. So all right, um, so yeah, so if I were to go and kick a puppy out of malicious intent, um, would you say like it's good, bad, or doesn't matter?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, asking you.
I would say it's bad.
Okay,
Why are you asking me? What does it have to do with them?
all right.
Are you testing that I have objective morality?
No. Like I'll explain. Um, so is it bad because you feel that it's bad? Is it bad because five people feel that it's bad? Is it bad because the country feels that it's bad? Is it bad because there's a group
No,
of
it's bad because I feel it's bad.
okay, you feel it's bad. So you would be the ultimate arbiter of what is right and wrong. Like the ultimate decider. Like you would
Yeah,
be the
sure.
one who
What's the problem here?
okay, so let's say like tomorrow you feel that it is right to kick puppies. So then it would be right.
I don't think that your morality can change just like that, but sure, it will be right to kick puppies then.
Okay. So um anything goes. Might makes right.
Oh, no, 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 no. I'm sorry, but you haven't thought it out very well. If I see somebody in the streets, right, kicking a puppy, right now I will get a bad feeling, right, when somebody is kicking a puppy. If tomorrow, right, like I will sleep this day and wake up tomorrow and as I see somebody else kicking puppy, and I will not get that bad feeling, that means it's okay to kick puppies, for me at least. But when somebody else other than me actually watches this puppy kicking event, he might not share the same morality as me. So we wouldn't say that this is objective morality. This is more like the subjective morality.
Yeah.
Objective morality is something that most of the people share.
Mm, well, I would say that's still subjective. Like if it's just
How?
a bunch of people share it, because
By
it's
definition, objective is that. If most people share it, it's objective. Whatever it is, let's remove like morality from there. If
well,
most people share such kind of, let's say, understanding, it's objective. That's the definition of objective. Do you know what's the definition of objective means?
yeah.
So
So
how is that
object
subjective?
objective would be not dependent on human minds, whereas
No,
subject
that's not true. That's your definition.
dependent on human minds. No, it's
No,
not.
no,
It's
no,
not.
no. I think that's your definition. If you're going to say that something is not dependent on your mind, Your mind is also a part of like group's mind, which makes objective claiming objective.
Your mind is
George,
a
do you
part.
have the same position on like the truth of things existing? Like you saying if
No,
you can get a group of people to agree about it. Yeah,
no,
so
but
you mean
we're
something
talking.
different. When you use objective, you mean something different when you're talking about truth, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's just using that definition, but you've just got some
No, we started
different one for
using.
morality.
No. We started using the definition of morality is like personal feeling of good or bad.
Right.
So I really don't understand. If you're going
You
to say
said
that objective
objective.
morality,
Yeah.
let
So
me
just
finish.
say
Oh yeah, sure. Let me finish. So if I said something like there's objective morality, there's subjective morality. I can explain objective morality that like humans inherently actually share this feeling of morality, which is same for most of the humans. Let's say killing another human being is immoral and feels bad when somebody kills somebody else. Now that I would call objective morality. But let's say if you're going to say that I don't like that cup is upside down, right? It gives me a bad feeling. Now that is a subjective morality. That is something else.
well, I think your definition of objective, like it just seems like if you mean you can get most people to agree with you, that doesn't seem to make it objective. Like
I
it's
mean,
going to be
it
very
depends.
strongly subjective, right? It might be something that's subjective that you can be pretty sure about, but it's just not going to be
No.
objective.
So when we are saying objective, definition of objective is like
Is yeah,
outside of
mind
personal.
independent.
No.
Yeah,
Outside of
yeah,
personal feelings or opinions in considering and
mind
representing
independent.
facts.
Yeah, it's
A
just mind
single mind.
independent.
Are we talking like single mind dependency or all mind dependency?
Well, I mean, if all minds stop looking at an object, does it continue to exist?
Existence doesn't have anything to do with morality. I'm sorry, that's not true.
Well, I'm saying, are you saying
Existence is
something?
something. No. Existence is not subjective. Something either exists or doesn't exist.
But that's exactly the point. When you say
So we're
existence
saying
is not something, if you say existence is not something subjective, right, then you're agreeing with the definition of objective because that's why you're putting existence in a separate category to morality.
unfortunately no. So if we're going to
Just
say
say,
some, let me finish, and I'll tell you. So if we're going to say that something exists and it does not depend on our minds, then
yep.
it's really outside of subjectivity or objectivity, like
No, it's
literally
objective.
outside of it. How
No,
is it
it's
objective?
objective.
It's
That's what
proved
objective
by
is.
like
That's
does it
literally what it is.
one second,
Yeah.
then does it depend its existence, does it depend you being objective about its existence?
No, the point of it being an
No,
objective
no,
truth
no.
or an
Answer my
objective
question,
fact
Hekaton,
is
please.
that it's
Answer
true
my question,
regardless of an
please.
observer. It's
Yeah,
true
that's what I'm
regardless of an
saying. I'm
observer.
trying to get you there. So
Yeah.
answer my question, please. Just tell me that does something's
do.
existence does again? One second. I'm gonna like repeat the question. I'm sorry. One question. So you said something that something's existence does not depend on your subjective understanding of its existence. It does not. It does not. He's outside of your mind. It does not depend on you thinking about it, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
here, I'm gonna tell you, if most
Yeah.
people thought that unicorns were real, or all people were thinking that unicorns were real, and it was an objective fact, right, for us, does it mean
Hang
that
on.
unicorn is
That
real?
doesn't follow. Hang on. When you mean it's an objective fact?
My God.
Like where did
So
that come from?
if I'm going to say that unicorn, right, exists, and everybody else shares the same opinion to me as me, sorry, does it mean that unicorns really exist?
No, that's the point.
That's what I'm saying. It's outside of objectivity or
No.
subjectivity. What? No,
Well,
you just agreed
when
to me.
it's not
Agreed with me.
outside. No, George. Let me talk for a little bit because this is where you're getting confused. You don't have an objective perspective. You have a subjective perspective. Okay. You don't have some things you make subjective and some things you make objective. You don't have an objective perspective. That's the point. That's what
What
you're
is your
missing.
definition of objectivity
You're
and
an agent.
subjectivity?
You're an
No, 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 no,
agent,
no, no,
right?
no. At
So
first, tell
you
me.
only have a subjective
Hekaton,
position.
I'm sorry. Tell me then, what is subjective and objective mean?
Subjective is going to be the perspective that you have. Objective is going to be the way that things are outside of your
So
perspective,
that is
right?
different. That is different,
No, that's
like
just what
definition,
people
what we are
mean.
using. No, I'm sorry,
No, no,
Hekaton,
no.
that is not
It's
really.
not the
And you
one
are
that
here
he's
dragging me
using.
into a fight, like literally in definitions fight.
No, I'm just, again, it's
No,
not the
no, no,
definition.
no,
You
no.
agree with that definition when we talk about
No,
existence,
no, no.
but
I'm sorry,
you
Hekaton. If
don't
you're going
agree
to
with the.
interject, if you're going to interject in an argument that somebody else is having, and if you're going to have a like definition battle with it, that is the definition of red herring. You're now taking me somewhere
It's
else.
not a red
That
herring, George.
no, I'm sorry.
You're the
If you're
only
going to
one. You're
interject,
the
you have
only
to
one
do
with
it
this
on more
perspective.
proper grounds.
You're the only one with this perspective on objective, right? That you can somehow have objective and
I'm sorry,
subjective
Hekaton.
positions on
That is
things,
not
right?
correct. You're saying that something is in my mind and something is outside of my. That's really not the definition of
Just look
whatever
it up.
we are using. And please,
Look
Hang
it
on.
up.
Maybe
like
someone
literally
else can
start
chime
using it.
in, right? Maybe
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
else can chime in
Let
on
us
this.
hash it out on our own instead of like literally
Well,
interjecting on definitions
Hekaton
battle.
is
So
right. Like he's right about
Yeah,
what he's saying. And,
we have the
just look
same
it up.
position.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure, if it's a God's existence, right? Then you will
No,
have the
George.
same
George,
understanding.
it's just
No.
not most people's position of what they mean by objective and subjective. You've just made objective fit into some kind of like modal thing you have between having an objective position and having a subjective position. You're the only one who would describe it that way.
No, I mean I really don't share the same definition. So wouldn't it be better actually to say that okay, let's sit on the same definition instead of like
No, but I'm
you're
saying
wrong?
your one's actually incorrect, right?
Why
That's
am I
what we're trying to
incorrect?
help you
How
with.
would you say that definition is incorrect then? I'm
What
sorry, you're
you're
literally dragging me away from the
Yeah.
conversation,
What
Hekaton.
what you're saying is you have a
No.
subjective opinion, and if you have a shared subjective opinion, it becomes objective. And it's just like no one has that position. Like it's
Oh my
ridiculous.
God. So are you going to say that something objective is something like objective means that not being influenced by personal feelings or opinions?
We're not talking about objective. You're using
I'm
what an
taking
emotional
out.
state way or something.
I'm sorry. I'm taking out definition from Oxford, uh, you know, directory. So if you actually try to go, and I can actually give you a link, the definition of the most widespread and accepted definition of objective is not influenced by personal underlying feelings or opinions. And if you're going to tell me that I am incorrect about this, that we are not using this in the terms of this, then you have to have more proper or more stronger ground to do so. If not, then you're telling me that okay, my definition just does not fit into that definition that you're using. So you're literally
Okay.
dragging me away from the conversation now, Hekaton. Please let
All
me
right.
finish
You
conversation
can
with
go.
Apollotrosis.
Yeah, you can go back to it.
Thank you very
But I'm just
much.
saying. I
Apollotrosis, are you
stand
here?
by what I said. Right.
I don't
Stand by what I
care.
said.
I don't care. Sure,
Okay.
go ahead. Stand as much as you want in the corner. Apollotrosis, are you here?
Well,
So, as I was like, let me
second, one
continue.
second. I don't think it's fair to be disrespectful to Hekaton. I mean he didn't do anything untoward.
I consider that he
He
did
was
it to
he was
disrespectful act.
he was entirely spot on with
He's
what
not
he
spot
said.
on. Let's continue on the definition of objective or subjective.
You just need to look up the philosophical definition.
I did from Oxford's Philosophical Dictionary. I did, and it's objectives definition is not influenced by personal. Let me finish. Objectives. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. So let me finish. Let me finish. Apollotrosis, calm down. Let me finish 1 second. So if we're going to look up like Oxford philosophical definition of objective, it says not influenced by personal feelings or opinions. That is objective. So if
Okay, but
something
think-
is influenced by personal feelings or opinions, that is
Alright.
subjective. So
Okay.
we are going
Okay.
to continue talking
Alright,
about.
Alright. So the thing is that I don't believe that definition is sufficient, right? I don't think that is good enough, right? I mean, sure, it's
Sure,
good.
let's add up to it then.
It's not sufficient, right? So
Propose, what do you want to add to that definition?
sure. So I went to this philosophy stack exchange. A better source might be the Stanford philosophy thing, but I can't pull it up right now. Like I need to look around a little more.
Okay, tell me
Yeah,
what
so-
you want to add so we can continue like discussion. It's okay.
On the philosophy stack
Even if
exchange,
it
right?
was yours. I don't care if it was yours or somebody else's. Just tell me what you want to add to it.
All right, so the philosophy stack exchange, right? It says a proposition is objective if its truth value is independent of the person uttering it, right? So, um, so basically, right? What I said earlier, objective means it's not dependent on your mind or my mind, and this thing is saying the same exact thing but in different words. It's saying a proposition is objective if its truth value is independent of the person uttering it, right? So I'll go
Okay.
ahead and I'll post a link in the voice text chat, voice text. And then I can also go to other websites, philosophy websites, where they define
Okay.
objects in the
So do you
same.
want? I don't care if wherever you're going to go. I'm just telling you. Let's like have a proper definition so we can actually continue.
Yeah, for sure.
So how about this? How about this? You said that like I don't know. This is philosophy stack exchange. What is morality and commentaries says so. Commentaries. Let me find this definition here. What the hell is this? Okay. A proposition is objective if its truth value is independent of the person uttering it. A fact is objective in the same way. For morality to be objective, moral propositions such as killing bad, stealing is bad, etc., need to be true independently of the person who is stating them. I mean, this is an argument from like God's existence. This is not a definition. This is tainted definition of objective.
This person is not a Christian. Like if you continue to read their comment, they say that.
I don't care if he's Christian or atheist. This is a tainted definition of objective.
Okay, well,
Let me read. 1 second. Let me read.
I can find another one.
What the hell? How about this? Let's choose a definition. So are we going to use a proposition is objective if its truth value is independent of the person uttering it? Do you want this to be the definition of objective?
Sure, yes.
Okay, sure. Let's continue from that. How about this? Morality cannot be objective then.
Okay, so morality not be
Well,
objective.
it can be objective, but it cannot necessarily be objective.
Not necessarily.
Yes.
How do you know that?
So if it's